For you don't know me, my name is Christian. I've been going to here, Cornerstone, since September. It's a great church, you know. The people here are friendly and likable, which is a big plus. You know? When I was 6 years old, you know, I've always been living with my parents. When I was 6, you know, I grew up in a Christian home, and I made, you know, a false profession of faith, you know, because, you know, I was a kid, you know, I didn't really know exactly what was going on at the time. But, you know, growing up, you know, I was always, you know, thinking to myself, oh, I've already done that, you know. And, you know, I've gone to church, I've done everything Christian-y. But, you know, as I got older and, you know, smarter, I knew that I didn't actually have that Christ salvation experience, but in my mind, I would say, you've already done that, you know, you were young, you know, you've already gone through that, don't even worry about that. But that was just the devil, you know, just trying to keep me away from what God had in store for me. And, you know, popularity kicked in, and, you know, you'd always want to do the cool thing, you know, you don't want to go to church, you know, you don't want to be the kid who's all, hey, you know, have you heard about Jesus? You know, no one wanted to be him. But, you know, I eventually ended up going to this camp called Broadway in Springfield. It's a great camp. I encourage every single one of you to go. There's great speakers here that go. Chris Guffey's one of them. Great preacher. I listen to his sermons. But one of the sermons that week that I went really, you know, spoke to me. The theme for the week was Take a Walk. And he was talking about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And to this day, I still can't remember the exact sermon, but what I do remember is that going back to the hotel room and just remembering that my mom said she gave her testimony. And when I was alone, my roommates were asleep, and I was just up reading my Bible, John 3, and it just really spoke to me. And because Jesus explained how salvation, how to come to Christ, how to be saved, and I mean that day changed my life. Christ died for me. He's died for every single one of you. He's paid the debt of sin so that we don't have to, because I mean that's something that no one of us can do on our own. And from that day, I've been striving to live for Christ. I mean, we're all human. I've made mistakes. But the biggest thing was the following year at Broadway, for a couple weeks before, I gave my life to the ministry, to God's ministry, to preach, or to whatever He has called for me to be, missions, whatever it may be. But Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I do not know the plans."
I know the plans.
Have for you.
I know the plans.
I know the plans. There's a big difference in those contexts. Anyway, Jeremiah 29:11. Read it. You have a Bible. This is church. I guarantee you can find a Bible. But it's just slipping my mind at this moment. But and just the biggest thing growing up and just keeping me from Christ was, popularity and thinking, oh, I've done that. I don't need to. I mean, you really need to evaluate your life and to think, do I have that relationship with Christ?